Yeah. Except the question is, do we want civilian or military? I think we actually want military. Except civilian would allow us to build more stuff. You can build in Madras. You can build in puppets. That's one of the ways of increasing or decreasing their autonomy, is to build stuff in their states. We're going to go civilian. One more in each. Not in you two, because you're not developed enough yet. And then after this, I think we're going to go military. Actually, one other thing. Let's have a look at the focuses. Civilian, civilian, military, military. Alright, so we can actually get a fair amount of civilian from this. So that would be 2, 4 more. Wait, no, was that 4 in each? Yeah, that's 4 more, so that's 8. Plus the 2 we're doing, that's 10. Plus the 6, that's 16. That's one too many. Let's just get the one in Bombay. That's going to be 15 factories, which means full efficiency on one production system. Do you own Together for Victory? Together for Victory, I think, is what makes that possible. After a lengthy construction process, the great railway of princely federation has finally reached the capital of the Wadiyar princes, Mysore. Although Krishna Raja Wadiyar IV and Osman Ali Khan have their political and religious differences, this new statewide project has considerably strengthened communication and cooperation between the two most powerful princely states of our glorious federation. Even more political power. Fantastic. It does seem to have a thing about giving us political power. Ah, no, we can't do this until we have new economic reforms. Interesting. Well, let's do that then. New economic reforms. We will never achieve true advancement without reforming the laws governing our economy. There are new technologies and opportunities in the world, and we must embrace them. That is true, but by the time we have embraced them, we can't get these because they're not 38 projects, they're 39, so it's going to sit there useless for a while, but it will sometimes get better. Oh, soon. Sometime get better, that's what I'm trying to say. Right, are any of you lot ready yet? Yes, you are. Fantastic. Alright, let's shift you over to this army, and hopefully your experience levels will not decrease once you actually start getting your guns, but you will be able to get your planning bonus. I could have sworn I gave you a planning order. Go and attack this. There we go. Now you're getting your planning bonus. And also, the less people that we have training, the less consumption of weaponry we will have, because it is only very slowly going down, which I don't like. Support weapons 1. Excellent. So, technologies. It is now 38. So we can get the upgraded artillery. No, we can't. We can get the upgraded research, though. Let's do that. Let's get tag team by the Loyalists and the Socialists. What is this? I came to the stream late. This is Princely Federation. We're playing in India. This is the Kaiserreich update, which just landed 2 days ago, something like that, which has given the Indian states a new focus tree, which is awesome. So the Princely Federation are basically Indian nationalists. They are completely independent from most of the ideological going on, so you can be a bit of a wild card and kind of play kingmaker. Yeah, the traitors, not the loyalists. That's a good point. We could also get a new thingamajiggy. Better infantry equipment. I don't think we need any of those. Guns and butter. That's even more division organisation. If we're going to psychology, we're going to have 40% more organisation, which with our massive army sizes is going to be sickening. And also supply consumption. You know what? Guns and butter is actually a pretty good option for us. Armoured spearhead would be nice, but we're not going to be focusing mobile units too much. I am sorely tempted by guns and butter. Just massive armies of infantry. With silly amounts of organisation, just steamroller. We could also change stability and go to good, which does give us more factory output. I kind of like this idea. Let's go to good stability. Give our factories a bit of a boost. Oh, okay. Our economy minister is really good. Bonus to infrastructure construction speed. Desire to have a strong faction. Trade deal opinion factor. That one's useful. Political power gain increase. Consumer goods factories reduced. That's good. So authoritarian Democrats. That's these three. Production efficiency and infrastructure construction. No, current guy is better. Current guy is better. General construction speed increase. Political power gain efficiency. That's probably better than you. Because that construction speed includes factories. Alright, so we probably should try and get Chettiar if we can. The fifth, Andhra Mahasabha. The Andhra Mahasabha was a people's organisation initially founded in the early 1920s to further the use of the Telugu language over the prevalence of Urdu in Hyderabad state. However, over the course of its last 4 conferences, the movement moved further to the left by developing concrete political aims at enforcing compulsory education, workers' and peasants' rights, as well as progressive democratization of the princely federation. Currently under the leadership of the great liberal intellectual Madhapati Hanumathra Rao, the Andhra Mahasabha is nonetheless sharply divided between its bourgeois leading cadre and the mass leftist and syndicalist workers and peasants that constitute its core source of support. Yet, in spite of these differences, the movement has held its 5th Congress, and they presented a quite radical and very anti-feudal proposal for constitutional reform. As a result, there has been much upheaval within the more conservative circles of the Council of Princes, with the most reactionary Maharajas and the Zandimas demanding the banning of the movement. How should the executive react? Initiate a crackdown on the liberal demagogues, which loses us political power, and Bharatiya and Dominion of India dislike us. Or we lose even more political power, but the market liberals and the radical socialists increase in proportion of support. I'm going to have to crack down on these liberal demagogues. Eroding the power of the princes. I mean the states. That's a bad thing. Intel ministers do more now. They've gone from 0.5 to 1, you mean? Although actually the technical specialist is pretty good. Okay, there are a couple of boosted ones. So it's any of you. Encryption, no. Decryption, political power, yeah. Research time's quite good. So yeah, we could go for Krishna Raja Radiyar the 4th. Isn't that our leader? No, it's Kolpar, that's the leader. New economic reforms. So now we can seek foreign investment, which modifies the backwards economy by consumer goods minus 10%, factory output plus 10%, production efficiency cap plus 10%, which is pretty darn good actually. Or we continue along the path of more infrastructure and try and actually put more factories on the ground. I want the factories. Like that, seek foreign investment's pretty decent, but it's not good enough. Oh, that's only modifying it, so it's going to halve the penalties. It's not actually giving us those bonuses. Yeah, it's halving the penalties. Which is nice, but this is better. China is now free as a Republic of China. Yes. No, it's still a puppet. It's just no longer the Ostasian Gesellschaft, apparently. Which I guess is an event. You do actually have some. I mean, this is still mostly generic tree, but you do have these additionals here. And then Qing. Does Qing have any? No, Qing's the same. With, again, a tiny little tree for the surrounding stuff. But it's still German. Is the main point there. Alright, so your strength is definitely improving. Our strength hasn't improved nearly as much as I would have liked, although we're about to finish a whole ton of training. And your training seems to be holding out. And our deficit should be reducing. It is. Very slowly, though. Very, very slowly. Alright, once that's done, let's start churning out military factories in each of those locations. We're able to build a lot less factories here than I was hoping, considering the land available. I guess because they're not very urban. India's very rural. Which I always found interesting, like, how is India so rural? They have the world's largest population in what is a relatively small land area. It's what, the size of Germany and France combined? No, it's probably Germany, France and Italy combined. Their population would be, what, 60, 160 million, 300 million maybe combined between those three, which is roughly the same as the United States. Instead, there's 1 billion people here. Or is it 2 billion? How many people are there in India these days? So how do they have space for being so rural, is my question. What happened to Transfer? I don't know. I'll have a look in a minute. That's still going. This is still not available. We don't care about tanks. At some point we do want motorized. Now, one of the things I wanted to check is to see if there is anything which gives us motorized. No, that just gives us cheaper motorized. There's the research bonus for motorized. I don't ever see the point of this. Motorized, there is one technology for motorized. And it almost always arrives after you've actually researched motorized. So, to answer that question, we're not getting motorized. In which case, 38, let's get the improved infantry equipment. So I don't think the motorized hold over for mechanized. 1.3 to 1.4 billion, okay. Ottoman Empire has declared war on Kurdistan. The Kurdish uprising. Since the Welsh Krieg and the Arab Revolt, the Ottomans had long been the sick man of Europe, kicked out of the position as a great power, kicked out of the Balkans, and almost kicked out of the war by the British and Arab forces storming through the Levant. It was only a victory of Germany that saved them. Oh, I see, they were kind of on the losing side when Germany claimed victory in the First World War. Okay, that makes sense. Ah, we have some more troops that are ready to shift across. And this is going to be a really big boost in terms of the stuff we no longer need to be producing. Gandhi takes power in the Bharatiya Commune. As the leader of the Bharatiya Commune's agrarian socialist faction, its recently elected head of state, Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, sometimes called the Mahatma, or the Pure Soul by his devoted countrymen, gave a fiery speech to the electrified crowd in Calcutta today, promising that there was a path to peace for the reunification of India. While he dismissed speculation that this meant submission of the Bharatiya Union to either Dominion of India in the north or the Princely Federation in the west, and firmly stated the commune would defend itself against any and all aggression, he urged people throughout India to consider the possibility of Swaraj, or self-rule, through peaceful means rather than through a destructive war which would only bring more misery, and stating that his government would be doing its utmost to follow this path. Is that a focus to bring him in or something? Because they just finished a focus, so I assume so. It is. Oh, that's cool. So after the special meeting in the INC, you then choose between Bose, Hooge, or Gandhi. Industry is the path to victory. That sounds about right for me. So, radical socialist, syndicalist, or totalist. So he's the radical socialist, which is the most centrist of the three factions. Huh. I should name a puppet after you. I don't think you can rename puppets. I'm kind of disappointed that these guys haven't switched. What I can do is rename an army after you, or the theatre. In fact, once we get to fighting, I'm going to rename the armies after patrons. I really should, randomise them a little bit so that Fenris doesn't always get the tanks. Because so far you've always had the tanks. The Ottoman Axis War. For a long time, the Ottomans have ruled over the Levant and its Arab population. For many of them, and this was an outrage, and the Entente capitalised on this during the Weltkrieg to spark a revolt that crippled the Ottomans' war efforts. Albeit unsuccessful in the long run, this planted the seeds for future unrest. The foundation of the Axis in 1936 seemed like a challenge for the Ottoman Empire, and indeed today this confrontation came to an end as Egypt announced the entry into the war and the entire alliance against the Ottomans. In response, Arabs in all major cities of the Levant rose in revolt, with the equipment that many speculators have been provided by those states who are now crossing the border into Ottoman territory. Wow, yeah, you get a lot of troops for free, apparently. Plus, they're fighting the Kurds, and they seem to be losing. Yeah, the Ottoman game is not supposed to be very easy, from what I've heard. Wait, are you fighting Persia? No, Persia's on your side. Okay. What happened to Deutsche Mittelafrika? That is a good question. Germany, what the hell are you doing? You just have 1 billion puppets now. So you divided them up, I assume. Where would that be? Probably over here? No. Must be the Imperial restructuring. Yeah, I assume it's a event with the Imperial restructuring. Like the Kaiserbund is gone. Huh, hello. Random focuses in the middle of nowhere. That's funny. I wonder if they forgot about those. Yeah, Kaiserbund is definitely gone. So yes, I assume it's the Imperial restructuring. Those are all puppets, yeah. Puppet, 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 puppet. They just wanted loads of puppets because they like seeing lots of flags, I guess. Ah, we've hit 1 million again. Population increase. Railroad reaches Cape Comorin. Excellent. So now we can seek foreign investment, and then once we have both of these, I think we can start getting these, right? Yes, requires all the following. Or we could start going down the Age of Reason to increase our technological prowess. Let's seek foreign investment. There's only one way to turn the Federation from a backwater nation into one that strides boldly into the future, and that is by attracting foreign investors to establish new business. Do we want to get tech or do we want to get these first? I want these first. I'm not going to get the mining capacity or Hyderabad refinery just yet. So having 25 steel in my Zor would be amazing, especially when we actually start pumping out more of the military factories. The Hyderabad-Deccan Railroad reaches Cape Comorin. At long last, the trail of the Hyderabad-Deccan Railroad snakes all the way from the Bombay metropolis to the Malabar coast, decisively creating great cohesion and a sense of unity between the involved princely states. The successful conclusion of this great undertaking has left many critics of the government, foreign as well as domestic, speechless. Today, with modern transportation connecting the tip of the continent with its major centres of power, our nation shines as a beacon of modernity. You get a miner, you get a miner, you get a miner, you get a miner, you get a... You don't. I don't like you. You get a miner. I can just see that now. I should play a modern day multiplayer with the patrons. Yeah, I'm going to be doing a Heart of Iron patron game for sure. In fact, I'll probably just do a modern start again. I will almost certainly be doing a Hearts of Iron 4 community game, in which the patrons of the right tier obviously get preferential treatment, so I'll probably give them majors. Won't happen this weekend, probably next weekend. I don't know if we'll do it with the mod. I'll probably do it with vanilla just to see how that goes. And then if that goes well, then we'll probably do it with the mod. Probably Kaiserreich, because I just really like Kaiserreich. I haven't got that much experience with Millennium Dawn just yet. Bottom of the aftermath of Black Monday is Kaiserbund. Oh yeah, so it is. Remove the national focus, colonial upkeep. Release Freistaat Ceylon. Freistaat Ceylon becomes a puppet of the German Empire. No, that's not it. That's only one state. I'm pretty sure it's an event where you have to choose. Ooh, Carlist Spain was annexed. They lasted longer than the Kingdom of Spain. They basically swapped sides. Reports from Burgos confirm that the Carlist temporary capital has been captured by the advancing anarcho-Spanish troops after skirmishes in the hilly countryside. Carlist forces put up a stiff resistance, hoping to delay the anarcho-Spanish forces for as long as possible, but were eventually beaten back. Middle Africa got a focus too. Oh, did they? That's cool. I doubt that these guys do. No. Might be worth playing as in the future, although puppets are never as fun as the main nation. So it really does look like Germany's kind of on a path of just giving everyone all the things, and there you go, there's Transformer. They've grown a little bit. That's what's happened to them. So I guess people are kind of chomping away at Soviet Russia. I suspect Japan put some pressure on them, which then ceded land to Transformer. Transformer does have its own focus tree, though. That was one of the changes. Probably... Here we go, turmoil in Siberia. They've done these. Sorry, I almost forgot about the request there. The Ottomans are consolidating and fighting back, actually. Don't often see that. I can modify my government again. Do I want to? I mean, we could go up to very good stability. However, if we ever go below minus 50, then it'll go straight down to 0. Which is just a waste. Oh, in fact, it costs 200 to do that. Oh, screw that. We were talking about adding an intel minister, weren't we? This dude, for the research time. I'm not going to do it just yet, because I like to have a bit more of a buffer. You are the tanks. You're not the tanks yet. In fact, I kind of doubt we'll be getting any tanks, at least not for several years. I'm very much intending the steamroller, lots of infantry, crush, destroy, death, mayhem, tactics in this playthrough. Okay, so we're finally starting to overcome the deficit. Finally, finally, finally. Oh, a bunch more of you are ready for deployment. Over there. Alright. That is very good to hear, because it always kind of sucked when Germany, who are like the main power in this game, just lost consistently. Still lose, they don't have Austrian help. I don't mind if they lose eventually, it's just they lose too quickly. If there was a really static war between Germany and France, which is what you would expect to see in this scenario, then I'd be fine with it if France just slowly but surely erodes at them and then pushes them back. But that didn't happen. They would lose like southern Germany and then just die. Okay, so we have seeked foreign investment. There's only one way to turn the Federation from a backwater in already. So now I think I'm going to continue with the civilian industry stuff, and then we'll get the military industry, and then we'll get the Age of Reason. And then probably the mining and Hyderabad refinery. So this gives us more civilian factories. We're finally in a position to industrialise, and we must start by expanding our factories. I quite agree. Let's do it. You guys have a lot of training to do. Our combat strength is so low. Oh my gosh! And theirs is rising rapidly, even yours is rising a little. The minions actually looking pretty darn strong right now. We have a lot more troops than they do on the border, but they have much stronger armies, and the strength counts for a lot. I mean, we found that out in the Mongolia game, when we were basically consolidating forces into stronger, smaller but stronger units. Brazil declared war on the United Communes of Brazil. Brazil split into two parts, apparently. Of course they lose, they're against the French. No, we're not in a real position to add any artillery yet. I think we just need more factories building more guns. We're up to 10 now, which is good. Pocket defense. South Rhodesia has declared war on the Republic of South Africa. The Union of South Africa has declared war on the Republic. And we completed pocket defense. So this is a three-way war now. Interesting. Right, defense in depth. More organization, more max entrenchment. Sounds good. And this war seems to be going the combined syndicates of America's way, although the Union states holding their own pretty effectively. And if they can take more of Texas, then they stand a chance against the syndicates, because this bit, it doesn't really have much there. This bit, however, has a lot. But the United States still isn't out, which is kind of surprising. Does Portugal have a tree? I don't think they do. No, they don't.